From Hanselminutiae.com, it's Hansel Minutes, a weekly discussion with web developer and technologist Scott Hanselman. This is Lawrence Ryan announcing show number 246, recorded live Thursday, December 23rd, 2010. Support for Hansel Minutes is provided by Telerik RAD Controls, the most comprehensive suite of components for Windows Forms and ASP.NET web applications. Online at www.telerik.com. In this episode of Hansel Minutia, Scott talks with Richard Campbell about WinPhone 7, Kindle, Kinect, and more.
Hi, this is Scott Hanselman, and this is another episode of Hansel Minutes. It is Christmas. Almost in 2 days. How are you, Richard Campbell?
I am fine, my friend. It's good to talk to you.
It's nice to talk to you, sir. I haven't talked to you in a million years.
We've been all scary busy running around, doing real work and stuff.
Yeah, it has been a little bit wacky. This year, and of course last night was a little wacky for me because it's Christmas. I was trying to putting together a gift. I strained myself assembling exercise equipment.
That's a little ironic.
I think it's exactly ironic. I think it's Alanis Morissette ironic. It is. I should have limbered up while putting together the exercise machine, right. And I pulled something and. You know you're really old when you're damaging your hips. And I woke up today and I'm like, oh, my hip. I've pulled something in my hip, and I'm hoping, I don't know what's next. I think what I'm going to do is just take apart the exercise equipment and put it back together again. Age.
You wouldn't otherwise ache there, but now you do.
Only old people have bad hips, and I'm old now, and I have a bad hip.
There you go.
That's all I can think of.
I'm speaking of stressing hips. I've just committed to going to Nepal again in the spring, so that'll be walking uphill and downhill for 14 days.
Oh my goodness! Do you like doing this kind of stuff, or do you regret it once you've made when you put the plan in? Like, I know I'm old. I put the plan in place, and I go, oh no, what am I doing?
Well, it's one of those things where if I don't have a big goal, I can't get excited about exercise, and having to walk at high altitude day after day after day is a good goal. And the place we're going is an area called the Kingdom of Lo, which is right up against the Tibet border. So it'll be an incredible experience to see it. And it's just part of the adventure.
Wow. Yeah, see, I'm just exhausted to even think of that. It's funny how, I don't know about you, but I mean, I can't make travel plans unless I'm well rested.
I find I usually want to make travel plans while traveling. Once I'm home for a while, then I don't want to make travel plans.
Oh yeah, I'm actually on vacation right now. I'm on a 3-week vacation, and it's glorious. It's like retirement. I mean, I have nothing to do. It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know that feeling. I'm not good at having nothing to do. It never seems to work for me.
You're actually the worst at that. Of all the people I know, you are the worst at vacation.
Well, once I get a few weeks at home, which is typically around this season, I mean, there's some shopping to do, some, gifts to buy and so forth. Mm-hmm. But mostly I've been servicing computers and doing spring conference planning and, I mean, having a great time. I'm doing all the stuff I like, but this not having anything to do, I really don't understand it. It confuses me.
I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do when I can eventually do nothing. I think it might be teaching like at the high school level, but then I understand that they work really hard. So that's not good.
Well, I feel like I am retired, which I think most people would think is crazy, but I only work on stuff I really like. So isn't that retirement?
I've always thought of retirement as being just sleeping a lot. And I'm
like waiting to die.
I don't know. I think retirement is just nice, having enough money where you can do whatever you want to. And presumably having enough money that your kids can do whatever they want to.
Well, when you wake up in the morning, your bills are already paid. That's a good place to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I like that place.
What kind of gadget purchasing have you been doing? Have you got any holiday gift-giving ideas for us?
It's shockingly Microsoft-centric this year. I mean, WinPhone 7, I'm in love with.
Now, you're not just saying that because you are a known Microsoft shill.
I am a known Microsoft shill, and but you know it blew my mind with the Samsung Focus was my daughters who have iPhones are trying to steal them. I got one for my wife and for me, and they want them. And I've realized why. It's the best Facebook phone.
Oh.
Like, I think Microsoft's missed a marketing opportunity here. Make a pink phone, sell it to teenage girls.
Didn't they do that and call it the Kin and then kill it?
Yeah. Yeah, but then that wasn't that good a phone. This is, I think, a vastly superior phone. But it's the Facebook centricness of it is amazing. I mean, the rest of it, it's just a good phone. It does all the things. Although I find iPhone people, folks who are deeply into their iPhone, it's still not good enough.
Well,
there's apps you miss.
That's the thing. That's the thing
that Winphone 7 doesn't have.
You've actually nailed it, because people keep asking me what I think, and I think I have a very complicated opinion because I'm a Microsoft employee, which means that no one trusts me for anything. I can't say anything about any. I'm not allowed to have an opinion about anything because I'm a Microsoft employee. And I've got a 3G, a 3GS, an iPhone 4, an iPad, blah 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 blah. Steve Jobs, yay! And
your world is an iTunes-centric world.
Actually, it's a Zune-centric world from a music perspective. I'm all about the Zune, and of course, I'm not allowed to have that opinion either. I've stopped throwing Steve money for music a long time ago. I switched over to the Zune Pass, and we have music streaming all over the house, and I got the Zune in the car, and blah blah blah. It's the leasing music is where it's at, and I'll buy, because you know the deal with the Zune, right? It's $15 a month. And you get 10 songs a month. So I can buy 10 songs, which is basically a CD, and I can listen to whatever I want to. So I listen to a lot more music, and I can experiment more because I don't have to worry about, actually paying. But from an app's perspective, it's iPhones all the way.
You try out a song, as part of that lease deal, and if you really like it, that's the song you buy.
Exactly. You know it. And I think that's a great model. And I don't know where Zune's going, but the model is what I'm talking about, and I think that's wonderful.
And his Phone 7 basically, it is the Zune HD with the phone chipset in it.
Exactly. It is a wonderful music player. And I just got a thing called a Tune Link, because my car doesn't have Bluetooth audio. This is one of the great failures of my life, is that the car that I just paid off doesn't have Bluetooth audio. And that wire bugs the heck out of me. So I bought this thing called a Tune Link that takes your existing car with its auxiliary audio in and then makes it a Bluetooth audio device, which is wonderful.
So it's the host end of a Bluetooth audio connection.
Exactly. So, I open up the glove compartment and I hide this little cigarette lighter looking thing in the car and plug it into the aux, and I've got Bluetooth audio. And I just named it Mazda Audio so I could make my Mazda feel better about its stuff. It kind of feels like I upgraded the car. And then the Windows Phone 7 streams Bluetooth directly from Zune, as well as Last.fm and all that kind of stuff. So I listen to whatever the heck I want to, whenever I want to, without wires in the car. So, happiness and love all around. But what you just said was so interesting, is that if you're really, really deeply into your iPhone, if you're like a power user, it's you can't accept the Windows Phone 7 as being so amazing. Yeah. It is a great phone.
And it's funny, the things that matter. So, I've played with every Phone 7 out there for, one way or the other. I had a chance to get my hands on it. And I've realized that the Samsung Focus catches you with its screen. It's the OLED style screen. It's super bright, and I'm getting better and better at, when I hand the phone to someone, watch their expressions.
Yeah.
And when that screen first comes on and it's so bright and crisp, you get that little O. They literally sort of pop backward.
Yeah.
And I realize, actually, now it's like the first impression effect. You got them. They're already done. I know they're going to love it.
The screen on the Focus is so clear, and I figured out what it is. It's the black. The black part of the screen is so pure black that you can't tell where the screen stops and where the rest of the bezel ends.
Yeah, it's a good trick, and it's subtle, isn't it? These little things they've done.
Yeah,
I found the HD7, which has got a 4.3-inch screen, just too big.
Really?
Yeah, it's just a little. The difference between there's some that are made at 3.8, some are made at 4, like the Focus, and some are 4.3. 4.3 is too big.
Does that fit in your back pocket? That's a huge screen.
you wouldn't want to put it in your back pocket because then you'll sit down on it and you'll snap it in half.
Yeah, there's rumors of like 6 and 7 inch devices around, and for me, a phone has to fit in your back pocket. It just has to.
Yeah.
Or your inside jacket pocket.
Yeah, and I carry a 6-inch device, but it's my Kindle.
You carry your Kindle?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. See, the thing that makes a device integrate into my life is the ability to pick up, start using it immediately, and then have it come with me without the device coming with me. So, for example, I'll read my Kindle lives in one place. It lives in my room on my nightstand. I'll read it, then I'll put it down. I'll go somewhere, and then I'll pick up my iPhone and I'll run the Kindle app, and my page is exactly where I left it. So the Kindle's with me.
I do the same thing, but with 2 different Kindles. I have a Kindle for the road and a Kindle at my reading spot in the living room.
Oh, well, that's just excessive.
Well, I lost one on an airplane.
Did you hear about my Kindle on an airplane story?
Yeah, I remember the little tweet stream when you got it back.
Yeah, I lost it and I got it back. The airline employees found it for me. And ironically, they didn't know what it was. It was bizarre. They didn't know what it was, and I had to explain to them. It almost got thrown away just because it was just this strange white device. I'm surprised that even the guy who handed it to me didn't quite understand what was going on. This was in Munich, Germany. This was before the international Kindle, so presumably they weren't as popular at that point.
They just weren't known out there. Well, mine came back through regular channels, but it took 3 weeks. And in the meantime, I couldn't live without my Kindle, so I got another one.
That's awesome.
I just have a short attention span, man. Like I was literally in the middle of a great book, and I'd left it on the plane.
Yeah.
Now I had to get another one, plug into the same account, all the same books, picked up where I left off.
That's pretty sweet. I did that. I upgraded my Kindle from what number are they on now? Kindle 3?
3.
Yeah, I sold my 2, I got my 3, and I just said, sync books, and they were all there.
Yep.
And that's when our device fits into my life, where the device has one foot in the cloud, so it just works. That's one of the things I'd like to see the Xbox do, because I almost washed my Xbox memory card yesterday.
It was in a pocket in jeans pocket kind of thing.
Well, because with the Xbox, one of the things that's unfortunate is that your Windows Live pass or your Windows Live account can only live in one place. You have to copy it from the Xbox to a memory key to another Xbox. And you have 2 Kindles. I have 2 Xboxen. So I keep my memory key loaded with my with my Xbox Live account. So I move it between my office and the living room. And then one day it was gone. And I sat there for a second and tried to absorb the wisdom of the universe. And realized that it was in my breast pocket. And I remembered that because I never put anything in my chest pocket. And I just ran to the washing queue and found it. And it was like, it's like one of those cartoons where something is on a conveyor belt and headed towards, certain doom. My memory card was in the shirt, headed towards the washer, headed towards certain doom. I rescued it. That's a perfect example where that's cheating. That needs to be in the cloud. There's no reason for me to have to run around looking for memory card. Plus, one day it's going to die, and then I am going to be
inevitably it'll fail. I've gotten into a mindset now where I've realized that SDs and CFs are damaged by flying in airplanes. I lose at least one a year.
Wow.
I kill a fair number of telephones that way, too. So I've got a lot of dead cell phones from cosmic rays.
Really?
Where I get off the plane and something's broken on the phone.
You said something about that to me once. You said that you have this thing where you kill devices, like the radiation or something. You absorb it and project it into
it's always at the same time. It's when I get off the plane.
That's crazy.
Is I go to use the phone and something's broken. And it's not the phone's completely dead. It's some of the screen's garbled or the Bluetooth doesn't work anymore or it's something. I think I just fly too much. That's all.
Well, there is a lot of radiation for flying. I mean, you're absorbing a lot. And if you're flying all day long, you're definitely paying for it.
It's not free. There is a cost of flying that much. So it's been hard on phones. But it's also hard on CFs and SDs. And every so often I just have them. I'm just supporting your point here. Sooner or later, that card's going to die.
Yeah.
It's not immortal.
Hi, this is Scott coming to you from another place and time. Are you using agile practices to manage your software development? There's lots of tools in the market that manage the steps of a project, but most of them focus on individual roles. Get ready for a solution that caters for the success of the whole team. The guys at Telerik introduced Team Pulse. It's an agile project management tool that'll help you gather ideas, estimate, plan, track progress in a common workspace. Finally, companies, regardless of their size, can use a lightweight and convenient tool that makes all the stakeholders work as a united team, even if they're in different countries. By combining intuitive user interface and the power of Silverlight, Team Pulse removes the roadblocks that you typically face in applying Agile in an effective manner. No more lost data, no disparate systems, no lack of critical analytics regarding the health and velocity of your project. See for yourself. Get a free copy for 5 users and 1 project at Telerik.com/TeamPulse. And please do thank Telerik for supporting Hansel Minutes on their Facebook fan page, Facebook.com/TELERIK. Telerik. We do appreciate it. There wouldn't be a Hansel Minutes if there wasn't Telerik helping us.
You know what? I'm frustrated with the Xbox ecosystem. It's things like that we have known solutions for. Like, it doesn't need to be on a card. But also, why isn't that game app store working? This should be a good little business for people, building small games for the Xbox that people can buy through their Xbox and enjoy.
The indie games stuff works. I had George Klingerman on last couple weeks ago, and he has a nice little slick thing going on Xbox. I mean, it's actually a tab on Xbox called Indie Games.
Yeah.
You don't think that works?
I'm aware of it. I just don't know how many people are actually using it. I can't find anybody who's buying and selling games in that form.
Well, I think that's actually the App Store problem, in fact.
Yes. What
you're describing isn't an Xbox issue. It's the world's app stores are glutted. I remember someone saying once that the average iPhone application makes about $2,000.
Yeah.
Right. It's just the whole long tail effect. For every Angry Birds, there's like 15,000 fart applications.
Yeah. Now we're in the Hollywood model. 0.1% of these apps are going to be hugely successful, and that will put enough stars in people's eyes that they'll keep trying to have that one big mega hit.
What is that one mega hit? And the amount of work, they always make it seem like it's going to be easy, but the amount of work in a mega hit is crazy.
Huge. But the other thing that interests me about Angry Birds is the marketing model that, you can't sell anything in the App Store. The App Store, by the time someone goes to the App Store, they've got to already be sold. It's done.
Really?
Because curation is a disaster. You can't find anything.
Yeah, and every App Store has that problem.
As WinPhone 7's racing towards this problem right now, and I've been saying and been yelled at for being so negative. It's like 100,000 apps is a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's completely unmanageable. Nobody's shown me a solution to manage that many apps.
Yeah. It's extremely demotivating, actually. Have you written any applications? Have you thought about jumping into the whole App Store thing?
I've done a lot of research working with different teams around the different app stores and seen this problem over and over again and recognized the marketing has to be entirely external. And I believe that what I've read so far about Angry Birds is totally word of mouth sale. How do you sell Angry Birds? By having someone play Angry Birds.
Is that an App Store thing, or is that just life now? I mean, from my point of view, everything is word of mouth. Like, for example, my parents are buying a Blu-ray player, and their number one source of information about the Blu-ray player is the reviews on Amazon.
Huh.
So that means that there is no marketing anymore. There is only be awesome.
Yeah.
Right? Be awesome.
And
only
only the social constructs. How do I get people to talk about my product?
Which is a good system, except maybe there's just too many products and too many people, right? This implies that people need to stop. Like, you're not going to be Angry Birds, so maybe you should just stop. What do you think about that thesis?
I tend to agree. So here's a whole other layer of that exact same conversation. Talking to associates of mine that are in the large-scale game industry, and let's face it, there's only a few companies in this space, so it's probably pretty apparent who I'm talking about. and them realizing they can make 25 games a year with the infrastructure they've got, and 5 of them will be hits. And they've got pretty good formulas now around understanding which one of those 5 is going to be. So they're simply cutting back teams. They're making fewer products because the other 20 aren't worth the effort.
Well, but that gets into the commoditization of everything. That just means that, they're focusing on the moneymaker, but at the same time, there is money in just churning out this crap.
This is the long tail mindset, but it's, the problem when you talk about commercial game development is that it's $1 million plus proposition. There's so many people that work on a game in that infrastructure that it's just not, you can't throw that money away.
Yeah.
And I think this is why we're seeing what's interesting to me about the iPhone app is it's the first time in a number of years that 2 guys in a garage could make a program that sells. For a long time, that business model was basically dead. And
right.
now it's back. It's these casual games and casual apps that run on phones. But you still have a gold rush kind of mentality. You still have, 1 in 1,000 or 1 in 10,000, 1 in 100,000 are going to be wildly successful, and everybody else is just slugging it out.
Do you think that model is going to transfer over to the web? Because I've been playing with the Chrome Web Store, and while it's interesting and cool, I don't know if I want to pay 99 cents on my PC. I mean, I've been sitting in front of my PC for 20 years not paying 99 cents. I think what worked about the App Store on the phone was I haven't spent the last 20 years in Starbucks on a tiny device and, bored, and I'll spend 99 cents. But when I sit down in front of my big giant PC, surfing the web for free, and then suddenly an application store makes me, wants to charge me 99 cents to effectively make a bookmark, I get a little bit less enthusiastic.
Well, and it's amazing how much resistance there is around the 99-cent sale, isn't there? I mean, it's like I spend 5 times that on my latte, but I don't want to spend 99 cents on this app in the phone. But, going back to your actual question on the PC side, there's Steam. I don't know if you're a Steam subscriber or not.
I've got Steam. Steam is the Valve software application for. It's basically it is the games app store, I would say, on the PC.
Yeah, and has been for years. It predates the iPhone app store. Like, this has been there for years and years. And the big thing about Steam, this gets right back to our conversation on the Kindle and so forth, is I blow up machines on a regular basis and rebuild them. And as soon as I install Steam, put in my account information, there are my games.
Oh yeah.
No flipping disks, no downloading, no looking for product keys. The stuff's there. It's through one portal for everything. And now I just won't buy a game if I can't get it on Steam. It's crazy to try and buy anything any other way. Well, I also think that the Steam guys, Valve guys, have done a really great job of rolling up old titles because we're all getting older and nostalgic. I picked up all the old XCOM games for $20, 5 games. Not that I've played them at all,
right? But
I just felt good about owning XCOM again because I found the old box somewhere and it's on 3.5-inch media, and I don't even think I have one of those drives anymore. But I was able to get them on Steam.
Yeah, I think that Steam is definitely was ahead of its time. I mean, it continues to be like kind of the perfect model. I mean, it has its technical problems, but you're right. It's totally cloud based. It just works. It is the app store.
It just works.
But I don't feel like they're nickel and diming me. It's at 99 cents. They're always trying to find that perfect price, and we all know the psychological effects of like $2.99. What do you mean $2.99? That's insane. Who would pay $2.99? That's too much. But then 99 cents is just small enough that it's starting to feel like death by 1,000 cuts.
Well, you don't care so much of the problem. Faith Popcorn did this. Anything under $20 is effectively free. You'll just buy it. So then the question is value. And 99 cents is so low, you question value. But I bought Flight Control HD on Steam for my PC, even though it is a phone game, for $2.99.
Really?
Yeah. But I think anything under the price of a latte, why would you think about it? But, I think you're more comfortable there than you are at 99 cents.
Yeah. But, okay, but think about it this way. The game is at least a game. It is understood, and it is finite, and it is a game.
Yeah.
But, am I going to spend 99 cents for an HTML5 based canvas icon editor? You know, I'm just so used to book things on the web, places I visit, not costing me.
Right.
I'm not enthusiastic to do that.
And I think that model's not going to succeed. The customer base is also tricky. You know, we're never the customer. We're the odd ducks. What we're interested in, what we care about, how we perceive value, what we know is hard and easy, we look at it totally different than the customer does.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would never want to sell to us.
Well, that kind of gets back to the whole discussion at the beginning of the half an hour here, talking about Windows Phone 7. I mean, I love it. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing, but I don't think I'm the target audience.
You're not.
I actually had an
I
interesting
agree.
discussion with a lady in line at Qdoba, the local taco place, and she said, you know, I'm a little bummed. She had a phone. I noticed her Windows Phone 7, so I said, hey, this is a nice phone. She says, yeah, but you know, I thought I would want copy paste, and then she said, you know, but who needs copy paste? And it was weird to have an actual human in the public, not just a Microsoft person, say, who needs copy paste? And say it with a straight face and really believe it.
Well, and it's one of those things where they've now used the phone for a month and not missed it.
Yeah, she used it to phone, which means she's not a power user.
Yeah.
Right, she's never shared a link on Twitter. And of course, copy paste is coming, I guess they said it's coming in January or something. I have no doubt that they're going to upgrade the phone and it's going to get crazier and crazier, and then things are going to get really interesting. It's pretty clear that they're absolutely where the iPhone was early on, and they're going to upgrade and upgrade and upgrade this thing at a faster speed than the iPhone did so that it catches up, you know? But when she said, well, who needs copy paste anyway, I just knew that I'm not the target audience. Right.
It's true.
Because, you know, I want a quad processor phone. You know,
The duals are coming. ARM is now manufacturing a dual core processor in the phone format.
That means it's going to happen.
It's going to happen. I fully expect the next generation of Windows Phone hardware to be dual core, probably by the end of next year.
Really? You know, the thing that I think is interesting about all of this mobile stuff isn't necessarily the App Store, but it's changing the programming model. I think it's starting to make people aware of low power states, of suspending, of tombstoning, of even the benefit of full screen. You know that Jeff Atwood from Coding Horror has long suggested that we run our applications in full screen. He doesn't like window management. You know, he just, you know, an app either is a full screen app or maybe it's a half a screen. So, you know, He prefers that kind of tile all windows way of doing things.
Yeah, but I think, well, it gets into power users do things differently. I stack many, many more windows, and I've got, you know, the monster 4960 by 1600 screen. Mm-hmm. You do not want to expand anything over all those screens.
Yeah, well, certainly. But with multiple monitors and full screen applications, you know, I find the multitasking on the iPad to be a little bit tedious. You know, it's a little bit slow. It's not quite Alt Tab fast enough. But the single tasking focus of a full screen application combined with some of the speed of multitasking on a PC, you know, I don't know. Let me just say I spend a lot of time shoving windows around and resizing stuff that I don't feel I should need to.
Yeah, I'm a minimizer. I actually click on the button that says minimize everything and then go pick up the one window I care about.
But again, we're not the
audience. I watch my wife do it. She's a maximizer. One window covers the whole screen.
Really? She
has two monitors. They each have a window covering their whole screen.
Yeah, well, see, then that gets into it, doesn't it? I mean, you've kind of nailed it.
Right there.
Yeah.
Watching how they do it. And it's annoying to me, you know, there's the shared kitchen PC. What are we doing with a maximized IE window on a, you know, 1920 by 1200 screen? That's insane. And I'm making windows smaller, and she maximizes them all.
Yeah, yeah. And when my wife does the same thing with our kitchen PC, and she maximizes the browser as well. So I've just started hitting Control Plus just to make the font bigger to justify all those pixels.
Very large.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise it's a huge waste, right? I mean, I'm even starting to do that with my 30-inch monitor. Just Control Plus, make everything bigger, lean back, and pretend that I'm browsing at 1024.
There you go. Icons the size of your fist.
Yeah, in fact, icons as big as your fist. Well,
there you go.
This was a minutia show if ever I've seen a show, Richard Campbell.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, the one gadget we haven't talked about is the Kinect.
Did you get a Kinect? Let me guess. You have two.
Have
you lost one and you bought one because you couldn't live without it.
No, I haven't lost any yet, but I think we're going to end up with multiple Kinects in our lives.
I really want to mount it to my PC.
Absolutely. What do you want to do with it on your PC?
Honestly, I just want to swipe left and right to move windows from one monitor to the next.
There you go.
I mean, it's just a small thing to ask. I think I should be able to use my existing webcam, though, and that's the thing. I don't truly understand the Kinect hardware, so I can't say what it does or doesn't do. And
well, it's got a webcam on it, not a particularly good one, and it's got the infrared 3D mapper, and it's got directional microphones.
Mm-hmm. And presumably some hardware inside, some kind of, I don't know, something that is doing some of the processing. I don't think it's just two webcams and a two webcams.
Yeah, there is some logic going on there, although there's conversations happening about the stress it puts on an Xbox.
Really? I think it's like
on what
a
it's doing.
couple of percentage?
Well, larger than that, enough that it's, impacting Xboxes.
Really?
Sure. But look at, my best idea for why you'd have the Kinect built into a monitor is the ultimate, boss feature that I can set a group policy in place with. This particular app can only be seen by one person. If another face appears in the view, it just blacks out the screen.
I have not had that experience. I've had experiences where it couldn't see my kids. I don't know if they were too little or what. I've had experiences where I'm waving at it,
problem.
And it's like, hello, and it doesn't know I'm there.
No, I'm saying that's a feature I want to put in. Right?
Oh, that's a feature
why do we want them on our PCs? Because you can now use them as a security device.
Oh.
But there's a whole other set of mapping rules. Once you're working in that 3-foot distance, now you're no longer looking at arms and legs so much as shoulders and faces and things like that. I'm wondering if we could eventually build a class that, using the Kinect features, could determine the emotional state of the user.
Oh, yeah.
How frustrated is this guy?
Research onto that, and actually Kinectimals, the animal game, it's like a pet animal game, does do some of that emotional state stuff based on posture and face. And apparently the animal tries to show empathy.
Right.
It's happening. I mean, they're getting close to doing that now.
Yeah, and I just thinking about how I would build software where I could respond to the fact that I could tell my users getting frustrated. Like, how would I change the behavior of my app to deal with a frustrated user?
That gets dangerously into Clippy territory, where you frown and then Clippy's like, looks like you're mad at me.
Yeah, I'll just go, now he pops up immediately, goes, oh, you don't want to see me, and pops away again. You don't have to click on anything.
Looks like you don't want to hear from me, and then goes away immediately.
Not even going to go there.
Nice.
Where if I could actually see elation when the pop-up comes, then I'm like, oh, I'm glad I'm here. How can I help you?
I don't think our faces usually light up when Clippy shows up on our screen.
Yeah, not in our audience anyway. And I presume you're looking at all the cool videos of stuff that people are doing with the Kinect. You see the one where the guy put the Kinect on the quadcopter?
No.
So he's actually flying around. He's got a Kinect that's flying. It's very close to, hunter killers from Terminator. Here's a machine flying around, and they've looked at the view through the 3D camera, and it can find the floor and the closest object. Everything but recognizing John Connor and trying to shoot him.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
I
need to start hacking. I need to take my Kinect and plug it into my PC and start seeing what kind of trouble I can get into.
There's a Codeplex project called NKinect.
Yeah, that's my buddy Boris out in Mexico wrote that.
Got him booked for a .NET Rocks.
Very cool. Very cool. I want to check that out.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, Richard Campbell, for sitting here. This may be the first Hansel Minutes. Did we waste their time? Remember, I promised not to waste their time.
You promised.
Yeah. I think there are those people who wait all year for a Richard Campbell show, and then there are those people who are like, oh man, it's Richard.
Yep, they could skip over it.
Well, I appreciate you, and I thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Scott. It's always good to talk to you.
This has been another episode of Hansel Minutes. See you again next week.